Greetings, Ivy Artists. This is Miss A. I'm here introducing a series of videos. So for this series of videos, I'm interviewing a variety of people. Most of these people were my ex-students. Some of them are practicing artists that I've met along the way. And really, these videos are here to inspire you. They are here to show you where you can take your art education. Not all of you will become artists, but I feel that, art is really, really important no matter what you end up doing later on in life. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you really, really enjoy these. Thank you for subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. That inspires us to do more videos that are hopefully of interest to you. This is Miss A. All the best.
Hi, I'm Doshi. I graduated from the IB diploma program with higher level visual arts in 2018. Now I'm about to start my third year of architecture at the University of California in Berkeley with an intended minor in sustainable design. So the way that all my previous art education has shaped my way of thinking has got me to where I am today, and I'm certain that it will take me a lot further in my life. I was never the type of person that could articulate internal thoughts or feelings, and studying art has taught me that there are many other ways to externalize these internal processes. And I think that being able to effectively form these ideas and thoughts was the reason for a lot of my accomplishments in my life so far. And other design elements that I learned through an art education, such as just thinking visually and being analytical of design elements, has helped me decide on a career in architecture. There have been a lot of times in my life where I have used very specific and overall things that I've learned in my art education to get where I am today. Like, an example is at my internship, whenever I have to design something, I still remember every single color theory lesson that we had, every single composition, every single general design lesson that we had in my art class, and I try to apply all of that. And there's also a lot of overall things that the art education has taught me that has got me to where I am. Like, for example, never giving up on your first try. Everything can be developed to something so much better, and I think that applies to a lot more things in life than we realize. So there's a lot of ways in which my art education has helped me get to where I am today. Another aspect of my art education that helped me a lot in getting to college and doing well in my classes here is that studying artists and seeing the way that they present their work and seeing the way that other people perceive their work has taught me a lot about presentation and even just style of writing, because during my comparative study and my process portfolio, I remember putting a lot of importance on the way that I form my words in order to portray exactly the idea that I was thinking. In college, there's a lot of writing and there's a lot of reading, and my experience with IB art was very, very useful in challenging myself and now in doing well. I think that the world has always put a very heavy focus on STEM classes and the technicals such as physics, biology, math, and I think that the arts is very, very important in a student's career. For me, my art class throughout high school was where I felt most comfortable and where I was able to not only learn many skills such as social skills, decision making, risk taking, communication, but I was also able to connect to myself more and connect deeper to my roots and many aspects of my life that I never actively connected to until I started putting energy through my art into learning how I think how I personally think and how others think. Even doing research on artists is a very, very important thing in education because it connects students to the rest of the world, and a lot of art is just commentary, whether it's commentary on society, commentary on an artist's personal life, or their interpretations of something else. It's its own form of communication, and I think that's very important in a student's life. And with the chaos that exists in the technical world, I think that art actually keeps us sane. So for me, I think it was very important to go through an art education, and it was just such a big part of my life in high school. And even though the IB higher level visual arts program is very rigorous, it was my form of stress relief, and it just made my IB diploma program a lot easier to get through. So I think that there's a lot about an art education that you can apply to a lot of aspects of life, and I think that it opens up a way of thinking that isn't very conventional, and I think it allows people to open up their own ways of thinking. There's just so much room for variety and development, and there's so many things about an art education that are very difficult and prepare you for, facing problems in your life, fixing mistakes and finding solutions, and even little things, like I said, where you can't give up on your first try. You have to keep pushing. It's like a painting. If you make a mistake, you have to develop it to fix it. You have to try different compositions before you find the one that you're looking for. So you just keep developing your ideas and keep pushing yourself, and I think whether or not that's about a painting, it's very useful. Anything in life can be developed to something even better, and I learned that most rigorously and most effectively in an art class. So I think there's a lot of things about an art education that's very important. Since I did the IB diploma program and I went through the struggles and the beauties of IB visual arts higher level, my transition from high school to undergrad was pretty smooth. IB taught me how to balance my work, and since I started college, I was able to balance all my work, and even if I procrastinated, I was able to get all my assignments done, and I was able to get them done well. This semester, I had my first architecture studio, and transitioning into that was also, it was pretty rough, but studying the IB art program helped a lot because I was able to understand how important craft and skill is, so I was able to produce good quality models and good quality drawings. There was also a lot of work, and with the IB, with all the IAs and extended essay and TOK, and for the art program with all the process portfolio and the cultural, the comparative study, sorry. Being able to balance all of that in the IB helped with being able to balance everything, all the different assignments that I have had in college for all my classes. The one thing that I was unprepared for was the amount of readings that there are in college, because in the art IB program in high school, it's just reading what you absolutely need to, and in university you realize that you need to take that a step further, which I think caught me off guard. But other than that, thankfully my college experience so far has been a lot better than I expected. Since I did the IB diploma program, the transition from high school to university was pretty smooth for me. My first year went by very well, and I kind of got time to settle down and like learn how to live on my own while keeping up with my studies, because when I was doing the IB program there were so many things on my mind, and I got used to that. I got used to having a long to-do list and still getting through it without having breakdowns, or maybe I did have breakdowns. But I think during my second year I realized that things do pick up and they do get a lot harder than they were in the IB program. But when I did the arts program or the arts class in IB, I realized that that's what I enjoy, and even if it was a lot of work, I enjoyed doing it. And I realized that in university it's very similar. You pick what you want to do, and as long as you really like it, you're gonna enjoy it. So maybe because I'm so passionate about architecture, I had a very nice transition. And even if I have to pull all-nighters, I can do that without coffee or without stressing, because I'm working on something that I really like. And I felt that way ever since I started the IB Visual Arts program. Every time I had a painting to work on, I loved it, even if it was stressful and even if I kept making mistakes. So yeah, the transition was pretty good, I think, so far, knock on wood. Contrary to popular belief, I think that the IB Visual Arts program was a lot of fun, and for me it was very stress relieving. And the reason that I think so is because I really enjoyed and I found satisfaction in seeing all my pieces come to fruition. However, I know that there were a lot of times where I doubted myself and where I didn't see how successful a lot of my pieces were. So I want all the IB art students to remember that to take pride in what you make, because with the amount of effort that we put into the program, it is something that's very impressive, so you should be proud of it. Thank you. Hi, I hope everyone's doing well, and I hope everyone's safe with COVID-19 and everything that it brought along. I just wanted to talk about kind of an update on my studies and everything since COVID-19 happened. The last few months of my semester were online, so I even had my architecture studio online, which was very weird, and it was very interesting getting used to that, but I learned a lot. And I'm sure that a lot of people with an art or going through an art education right now probably struggle just like I did, but I just wanted to say that that's completely understandable. What I want to say to any students who are taking the IB Visual Arts program or plan on taking it is be ready to adapt to anything that comes at you. Moving online, especially for a design community, is very hard because we're so used to doing everything in a room surrounded by people who are also working on art or communicating our ideas in person, and like doing everything very physically. Like for architecture, our studio went online and I couldn't make physical models anymore. Everything was software based, and it was a very hard transition, but I learned so many things that I would never have even thought of learning had these changes not happened. And I learned how to communicate better, how to use technology better, and I had to adapt to communicating my ideas differently. Before, I would have a printed drawing and I would be able to talk to my instructor and explain everything, but since everything went online, I had to get used to presenting through a shared screen. I also had more time on my hands to keep working and developing my ideas, and I think that's very important. I feel like we've all had more time to try things and kind of be creative, which is really cool. Another thing I would say is be grateful and keep working towards your art, because for me, I didn't end up choosing fine arts in university, so I kind of lost time to work on my art, and it makes me sad. But every time I do work on a painting or draw, it brings joy. So I think that is something very important to remember, that to find time for these things, to make time for these things, because I need to work on that. So I hope that the lockdown was somewhat inspiring, and yeah, this is just kind of me reassuring you that it's okay if it was hard, because it's something that no one was expecting and no one's used to. So yeah, I mean, good luck from now on, and you got this.